That's done. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the simple sales system qualifying interview questions. So how to get the clients literally to qualify themselves to you and sign up on the spot. And by asking these questions and adding the qualified interview questions at the end, I've literally been able to double my sales, and you should be able to significantly increase your sales and signups on the spot by getting the clients to sell themselves to you. Getting them to commit up front to play full out will get you the best clients. You can get the best results for clients who are fully committed, and by getting great results for your clients, that will increase your referrals and word of mouth marketing and ultimately the long run success of your programs. If you only take on awesome clients and you get them great results, filling next year's program or your next program, whether it's 6 months or next year, filling the next one will get a lot easier because everybody in your group will have stellar results and they'll tell everybody else. So the simple sales system is still the same. You number one, you talk about their desire. Where are you now? Where do you want to be and why? Number two, what's holding you back from getting what you want? Number three, here's your roadmap, your free advice, high level yet specific consulting plan, and you got to knock their socks off. Number four, you ask them, what do you like about what I just said? And they should say everything. And if they're not saying everything, then you need to rework part three until they do. Number five, now you give them your irresistible offer. Would you like to hear about our program that helps you achieve your goals? Of course, yes. You give them your irresistible offer. You reconnect with their big why. And now we get to the qualification questions. So typically at this point in any other sales course, pretty much every other sales book that I've ever read, this is where people will ask a closing question. And this is where it can get really awkward. So let's throw that out because I've found those closing questions don't work. When in any of your conversations, there's maybe 10 or 20% of the people who you're talking to, they're ready to sign up right now, and they're wanting to know, how can I fill out the credit card form? Those people are easy. That's 20% of the people you're talking to. There's another 20% of you're talking to that they're a definite no, and you should know that at this point as well. But I found kind of the bulk of the people, maybe 60% of the people that you're talking to, that they're kind of somewhere in the middle. And this is where you can move the needle on those people, the majority of the people, dramatically by getting them to qualify themselves. So after you've made the offer, you've reconnected the client with their big why, now it's time for them to sell themselves to you. And this tells the clients, I care about who I work with. And you can say that literally or let them understand that you genuinely care about who they work with. And so what we're doing is we're qualifying, not closing. Those common hard closing techniques I've found don't work. They often can produce buyer's remorse, getting people to want refunds and things like that. Trial closes and similar techniques subconsciously send the wrong message that you need them when you make them qualify themselves to you, and that you are subconsciously showing them that they need you. So qualifying, again, not closing, it's important for you to remember that you work way too hard to deliver value to your clients to settle for someone who's not going to take your coaching advice. You work too hard for that. You can't help someone that isn't fully committed to helping themselves. And by only accepting clients who are 100% committed to helping themselves and following your program, you'll produce amazing results. So now let's talk about the qualifying interview. So I came across this book called Top Grading by Bradford Smart. He's Dr. Bradford Smart. I came across this book, maybe about 7 or 8 years ago. And I've used the qualifying interview questions, techniques, and process specifically to hire employees. And this top grading is, as it says at the top of his book, the proven hiring and promoting method that turbocharges company performance. And I have done dozens and dozens of of top grading interviews where I am the employer interviewing someone to work for me. Now, in my past, I've also interviewed for other jobs where I've been on the other side of the fence where I'm interviewing for a job. And if you think about it, when interviewing for a job, the interviewee is trying very hard to qualify, and they want to be the one selected to get the job. So they're going to do everything they can to represent themselves as best as possible, and they are very, very eager to be the one that is selected, okay? And this top grading book teaches a behavioral interviewing style that is excellent for getting people to sell themselves to you. So behavioral interviewing is just asking questions. Instead of asking someone, hey, are you a good worker? It's asking them a question of, tell me a time at a specific company when you demonstrated the qualities of being a good worker. Tell me the very specific story. So it's asking for a specific story as opposed to a generality, as opposed to just say, hey, tell me if you're a good worker or not. Tell me a specific story where you demonstrated the qualities of a good worker. And what I found is when you start asking people these questions at the end of your simple sales system conversation, it completely changes the energy of the conversation. You are no longer selling the client. They are selling themselves to you. And by clearly letting them know that you don't just accept anyone, they will tell you how interested they really are. This can completely eliminate objections. This totally eliminates salesy closing technique that don't really work, and most importantly, convey desperation. When you get to the end of the sales call and it starts to get weird, and we start to convey desperation of saying, "Gosh, let's try and figure out everything that we possibly can to get you in this program," it sends the exact wrong message. And so the opposite of that, the way to eliminate that, is to ask the clients these qualifying interview questions. So what we're going to do in using these qualifying interview questions is we're going to get them to tell you specific stories of a time that they demonstrated the necessary qualities that qualify to be in your group. Now, everybody's group is going to have different dynamics. And what you want to identify is, what are the qualities of the people who are in your group that have the most success? And then we want to design our questions to match that. Giving them specific questions of a time when they showed up where they helped someone or solved problems or brought value, or times when they won, when they were able to, win in life or business or health or relationships, whatever it is that you're helping them accomplish. Specific stories that show vulnerability, like they were able to admit errors, or they made mistakes and they corrected them. Having them tell you specific stories of when they failed and how they handled it. What to watch out for. Specific stories that demonstrate and show what to watch out for when they want to quit or hide out. You're going to want to know that about people who are coming into your program. Specific stories about how they are coachable and how they are willing to take advice from a mentor. So let's get into some specific qualifying interview questions. And initially, before I ask the questions, I want to preface and frame the qualifying interview process. So after I have just told people I've given them the irresistible offer, I've told them the price, I've reconnected it to their value, to the value that they are seeking. Now I just shift gears a little bit. I say, now we only take on people who we believe will be successful and will fully and faithfully implement the program. And it's not written here, but I usually say we turn away more people than we accept, which is 100% true. And I'm trying to decide if you're a good fit for us. Because if I decide to let you in the program, I'm going to do everything in my power to make you successful. I care about who I work with, and there's a real possibility that we might not be the right fit for each other. And then I might say, but then again, if you do qualify, we could build you an amazing business together. And now I'm going to start asking them questions. Tell me a specific story of a time that you helped add value to, and this is where then you get to fill in the blank with their specific situation that their high-end program helps them with. So for example, if I help people as a business marketing consultant, I'm going to say, tell me a specific time where you helped one of your clients or you created the transformation your client was seeking. Tell me a specific story about that. If I was a wellness consultant, I would say, tell me a specific story of a time that you were able to create that transformation for yourself. Maybe it's lose weight, maybe it's cure yourself of a specific illness, maybe it's do something for your health, that transformation that you want. Tell me a specific story of a time you were able to create that transformation that you want for your health or weight loss struggles. If I was a dating or relationship advice coach, I would say, tell me a specific story of a time that you were able to stop attracting the wrong man, and you did something healthy for yourself, and that ended up allowing you to attract the right man, for example. So that would be one of my first qualifying interview questions. And you need to make the question fit your program, the transformation that your program creates, whether it's in business or health or relationship advice or spirituality. You create the question to fit your program. Here's another example. Tell me a specific story of a time when a really big problem came up and you were able to solve it. Again, it needs to be in the context of your program. So in my business marketing program, I would say, tell me a specific story of a time in your business when your really big problem came up and you were able to solve it. Again, tell me a specific story of a time when you brought value to a community like this one that you want to come in, like you want to be in my group. Tell me a specific story of a time when you brought value to a community like this that you were in. Tell me a specific story of a time when you helped or supported someone else in need of the help that you need. Okay, again, put it in the context of your program. So if I'm in marketing, again, business, I would say, hey, tell me of a time when you helped someone else in a coaching group who needed help in another business marketing coaching group. So what we're doing is we're asking them behavioral interview questions. And all that means is, instead of, don't tell me if you're a good problem solver, tell me a story of a specific time when a really big problem came up and what you did to solve it. Don't tell me if you bring value to a community, tell me a specific story of a time when you brought value to a community and how did you do that. Don't tell me if you're good at supporting other people. Tell me a specific story of a time when you actually supported someone. What did you do and how did you do it? So again, going a little bit farther, so I don't want to just stop there. I'm going to ask some more questions. Tell me a time when you worked really hard, and these questions are now the other side of the coin, meaning the first part of the questions are all going to be positive, and it's like, tell me, some of these winning type stories. Well, now you want to find out the other side of the coin. And this is, if you were interviewing anybody who has ever interviewed for a job, you will probably have noticed that they've asked questions not just like, tell me, what your strengths are, but tell me what your weaknesses are. And this is really important. Because when people are now, it allows them to be very vulnerable. It allows them to, really want to be in your program, and it gives them the opportunity to see that you are an awesome coach, that you are no nonsense, you know what you're talking about, you can, and you want to find out from them What are the things that you're going to need to watch out for as a coach? And a great way to do that is with this first question here. Tell me a time when you worked really hard to achieve something really big and it did not work out. What did you do? If you could have done it over again, what would you do differently? Next question. Tell me about a time when you quit on something you wish you hadn't. This is a tough one sometimes, and I might even preface that when I'm asking. I'm going to say, okay, this next question is a tough one. So just, think about your answer. Tell me a time when you quit on something that you wish you hadn't. And what are the signs that you're going to quit that we need to watch out for? Now we're assuming that they're coming in to your program. Will you let others hold you accountable? What's the best way to hold you accountable? That's the whole point of why they're coming into your program in the first place. So qualifying interview questions examples. Here's a great one that I started asking. Have you been in other coaching programs before? That's good for you to know. If they have, then ask them a little bit more. What was the best part? What was the worst part? And then this is my favorite question. What do you need to commit to and put into this coaching program to be as successful as you can be? What do you need to commit to and put into this coaching program to be as successful as you can be? This places the responsibility on the client to make sure that they are going to work hard. And I think most people believe, if you ask people, hey, do you believe that you get out of something what you put into it? Most people say yes to that. And this puts the onus on them of responsibility, saying, hey, take responsibility for getting the most out of your program. What do you need to commit to? Do you need to commit to showing up to all the classes? Do you need to commit to coming to the live events? Do you need to commit to doing the exercises? Do you need to commit to having an accountability partner? What do you need to commit to get to be as successful as you can be in your coaching program? So once once we've gone through that, then I'm going to say, assuming now, usually what's happened at this point is they are very, very, very eager to come into the coaching program. And I realize this first bullet point actually should have been before I went into these questions. But now I'm going to say, okay, you sound interesting. And if you prove yourself, work hard, and you don't come up with excuses, you can earn your way in. I might insert another client success story. And then now it's time for them to move forward. So I say, okay, I'm willing to, if they showed through those qualification questions that they are in fact eager to be in the program, which most of the time they really are, like 80%, then I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to invite you into the program. I'm going to send you our agreement, and you're going to need to sign up. You're going to need to sign the agreement, and now's the time to sign the agreement. And I want to make sure that I can count on you, and I want to make sure that you'll honor the agreement. So this is the time then where I would send off the information. I'm just going to share with you a few more questions that I'm going to give to you that can help you, that you could use in, so these are some optional questions that you can use. So questions like, I think you're interesting. What value will you bring to our team? Can you be coachable and be a high quality accountability partner for someone in the group? And then these are also great questions. How will this program, so if you're a business consultant, how will this program change your business? Similarly, if I was a health consultant, I would say, how will this program change your health? If I was a relationship consultant, I would say, how would this program change your relationships? What do you most want to get from this program? Are you 100% committed to doing whatever it takes to get those results? And then now we're going to move on to the next step. So let's do a quick exercise. So right now, take out a pen and paper. And let's go down right now and write the 3 qualities of your most successful students. So take out a pen and paper right now and think about your most successful students, the most successful students that you've ever had. And if your program is not full at this time, then just imagine for a moment, what would the most successful qualities, the 3 qualities of the most successful students be? Would it be that they're very accountable? Would it be that they show up? What would it be? Then move on to the next step. What are the 3 qualities that you most want to avoid in your students? Okay, so if you have, what are the students that do not get results? For example, they don't show up, or maybe they don't do their homework, or whatever those qualities are. The qualities that you want to avoid. People, maybe you've got students who they complain or they whine or they make up lots of excuses or they never take responsibility for themselves. Put down the top 3 qualities that you most want to avoid in your students. Then write 3 qualifying questions that you can use in this interview process. So they're qualifying interview questions. Go ahead and write those answers down right now, and we'll see you in the next section.